Luis Rubiales is gone, but Spain's World Cup winning women's team are still unhappy, Jules.
Yeah, still unhappy. They want more changes than just Jorge Vilda and Luis Rubiales. They want structural changes to women's football in general in Spain and things like that. And we said, remember when Montetome was appointed instead of Vilda, so she was his assistant, that maybe like a clean start with someone who nothing to do before with this setup and everything was a better idea. I guess that maybe has something to do with that too. And I mean, the Nations League, the Women's Nations League starts obviously now. So we will see how Spain do, but this is again not good. And I can see their point, to be fair.
I think some of the things, even just from the outside, one thing that without knowing the ins and outs of how much they can demand, that seems obvious to me is they want changes in the communications department. The people who put out that statement,
100%,
which basically Jenny and Mosso contradicted, somebody has to take responsibility for that. They cannot go and continue to work.
But they shouldn't even ask. I mean, like
that should have been obvious.
Yeah, exactly.
That should be obvious, and that would seem to be an easy concession to make. Benjamin Mendy makes his debut for Lorient, who hold league leaders Monaco to a 2-2 draw at home as your man Balogun scores.
Yeah.
Jules, what was the reaction there?
So he came on for the last 20 minutes, 70th minute, so he played half an hour because they had a long added time again. He set up the second, was part of the setup in the second goal when Lorient scored in the 98th minute to make it 2-2. It felt like a few boos, but not many at all. Most of it was a standing ovation when he came on. The people at the club really like him. They said he's been great, super committed, super nice to work with. The fans, or most of the fans, clearly were happy with him starting 723 days since his last game of football with City against Spurs at the Tottenham Stadium at the start of the 2021 season in August. I'm all for second chances. I did feel a little bit watching him come on and the ovation, all of that, watching on television, I was a little bit uneasy with.
And to be fair, just to have this on the record, because we specify with Mason Greenwood, his case is different in the sense that he was found not guilty.
Yeah, exactly.
If I'm correct, right?
Yeah, exactly. Gam, you know I'm a masochist. So let's go back to Nice win over PSG on Friday. And the Nice coach, Francesco Farioli, who we mentioned briefly in the other answer, who never played professional football. He's just 34 years old. And he's even the youngest coach in Ligue 1, doing a great job there.
No, the youngest coach in Ligue 1 is Will Still, of course, who's ginger and 11 years old. No, he's not. He's 30. No, Farioli's a great story because, still, I'm wondering if you're seeing a different generation of managers coming through. This guy Farioli, right, I'm assuming must have been really, really bad at playing football. But he went to university instead. He got a degree in philosophy and sports science. There you go, youngsters out there. Interdisciplinary.
Exactly.
That's what it's all about.
It works.
He started coaching these random local teams. I think he might have been a goalkeeping coach at some point. And then his reputation spreads, and this guy works hard, and he takes crummy jobs, and he goes and he becomes Roberto De Zerbi's goalkeeping coach when De Zerbi's a no-name. Then he goes off. He had coaching gigs in Turkey where he was an assistant, and they liked him, always at small teams, and now Nice took the plunge on him. Yeah. And it's a progressive, different choice. I'm not saying he's going to work out. I'm not saying Will Still's going to work out. I'm not saying Nagelsmann's going to work out more than he does.
Yeah.
But I think what we're seeing is people are looking beyond what were you like as a player, looking beyond the big name. Yeah. And so far, so good.
You're right.
Oh, look, Sir Jim Ratcliffe, maybe when he buys Manchester United, will he replace Eric Ten Hag?
Maybe. By a 34-year-old who's never played football.
That'll go over well here. Brest isn't just a body part, Jules. They're second in Ligue 1 after beating Stade Reims and your boy Will Still. It's the second Will Still reference of the show.
I know,
There's too many.
I love it. Brest, well done to Eric Roy. Remember Eric Roy, the Sunderland legend and former Watford sporting director, doing a great job there. We talked about Farioli and you talk about Will Still, but Eric Roy for a long time was just a TV pundit in France, a really good one, working with us on the coverage of the Premier League in France. Waiting for a good opportunity, but it seemed that people had forgotten about him. And I guess maybe when you go back to punditry after, because he was also your coach before, but Brest, he applied for the Brest job. They gave it to him. He was really good at the end of last season, kept them up. And with pretty much the same squads, are certainly the same 11 because the 11 that beat Reims is the same one that was there last season. He's doing an amazing job. They play with intensity. They're good now. They've got confidence. And they've been one of the surprises of the season.
So this would be as if Mika Richards or Taylor Twellman went and got a top flight coaching gig.
Yeah, something like that. A little bit, something like that. Everton majority shareholder Farhad Moshiri has agreed to sell his 94.1% stake in the club to 777 partners who own a bunch of teams around Europe, as we mentioned in the last show. Arguably, their biggest one is Hertha Berlin, and their fans aren't too happy, right, in the Bundesliga too?
That's right. Well, they're not too happy because they're close to being relegated out of the second Bundesliga, the German second flight, and effectively.
I mean, the season has just started, so they're not going to get relegated.
And they won. They beat Eintracht Braunschweig, but remember, before this, they were firmly in the bottom three.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't like these guys. A lot of people at the club have taken over. Standard Liège, same situation. At Genoa, they like them because they were promoted. I mean, I think a lot of times the results come in. We've touched upon this before. I don't think it's clear to me at all that 777 partners, that their sale will be approved by the Premier League. I think you're going to see more investigations into this, into aspects of the liquidity and so on. If you remember, I think they still own a chunk of Sevilla, and they were going to take over Sevilla. That fell apart. It's not a good sign when two of the clubs where they are already, the fans are openly protesting against the owners, and they haven't been there that long.
Yeah.
Equally, if you're an Everton fan, you just want rid of Moshiri and the man behind him who's funding him, assuming such a man exists.
Yeah,
and
we won't
assuming
say
such
his
a man might be
name,
sanctioned. But maybe he used to be an Arsenal shareholder. Maybe, who knows? Sorry, that just bugs the crap out of me. But anyway, I hope, I just hope for the sake of Everton fans, if 777 buy the club, I hope they turn out to be really, really good owners. They deserve good owners. And
I agree.
And I hope your man goes away if 777 take over. Otherwise, I suspect he won't, because he's always there.